potentially learn a little bit more of what I can do to improve my channel. I understand a lot of people get stuck when they're trying to maintain or create a channel, more like they get stuck with the whole, I'm at this many subscribers, it's not going up, it hasn't been going up for a while. And I mean, I only understand it to the point of like understanding how it feels. The same thing kind of happened with my follows on here. I don't feel like I'm doing something wrong. I just understand that like there's just too many factors that play a role. There's 100,000 things I could be doing different, and I don't mean to sound so convoluted about all this, but there's not even 100,000. There's almost an infinite number of things you can do differently, especially if you're creative enough, to try and improve your own channel, to try and improve the content that you're putting out. And it sounds pretty obvious, like if you're doing something, if you're being original. How much does this cost? 25? Okay. I was gonna say 20 or something. That one, I think this is one of my favorite ones to do, so we'll definitely do that. But we'll come back in case we find something that can help us cheat at that game, because that's just like a no-brainer, really. And we only have one key so far. We've gone through at least 5 or 6 rooms by now. Am I wrong on that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically 4. Not a mimic. Brown chest ain't all that good, but you can kind of expect brown chests in the first chamber, which gives you an excuse to go to the oubliette, because oubliette sometimes has better quality chest, or just a more chests, so that you can run the dice of trying to get a better chest. But like I was saying, like just being a creative person, you often just kind of, in a way, you accidentally come up with just multiple ways to do certain things. The way I want to look at it is being creative, or having the creative mindset, is kind of like a forced thing. You can't really do anything about it. Like, that's how I kind of want to look at it. Like, it's just the way you perceive the world around you, that sort of thing. So it almost sounds, wow, that bullet like really reached. Okay, got to be careful against these. You know what? I'm not even gonna try it. I have to get an advantage on this guy. All for one shield. Oh, didn't even matter. That was just bad. But yeah, like, there's just so many different ways to look at it. But for me, I feel like there's a guy above me. Creativity really just comes from like who you are and how your brain works, really. And I see myself as a creative individual, but in a totally different prospect than how a lot of the world seems to be creative. And I don't mean just like drawing and art and things like that. Nothing's wrong with that at all. In fact, that's one of the more purest ways of showing creativity and art. And in fact, that's kind of some of the more things that make me envious. Oh, it worked. Holy crap. But in other forms of art, other forms of creativity, you have, well, content creation. And I see content creation as a form of art. I see it as a way to express yourself. And although I'm like a huge gamer and I've always loved gaming and things like that, it's not hard for me to see that I can find a lot of passion doing this. And since there's, evidence that other people enjoy watching this type of material, it's given me a chance to look at the world from a different angle, and a different creative angle. So if I'm able to exploit this, ballot, hell yes, I'm able to exploit this, and that's kind of a shady word, almost like a tough word to use, but wow, we finally made some money. It's a little impressive. It sounds like a shady way to put it when you say it like that, but there's other ways. What the heck? We didn't make a lot of money at all. But yeah, the word exploit is looked at negatively, just like the word ignorant, I think. But that's almost besides the point. That's just more of like a way to clarify for yourself that you're not doing things incorrectly, or doing things with a lack of morality. I probably didn't need to do that. I was tunnel visioning for a second. But to defend it, I see it as you know, shit. I was really gonna try to just squeeze through that, but I could have blanked, could have rolled. There's plenty. That's my fault. Probably like the easiest time I've ever fought these guys because they're just standing there, and I still managed to get hit. GG. I feel too powerful against this guy right now. Like, I'm willing to stand right in front of him. Alright, he's dead right here. We still got hit. We're not making a lot of money. Chests are bad on the first floor. Got a key though. Decent gun. I'm only saying decent because it is good for the Marine here. How much was that? Wow, we can just barely afford it. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Well, I guess there is a reason why you wouldn't want that, but I got it anyway. With this extra blank, we should try to look for a secret room as well. But yeah, to be honest, I'd rather just call it something else than exploiting, but it's kind of like taking advantage of the gift that you possess. How about that? Doesn't that sound fucking lovely? If you're able to just really tune into a lot of that, and it almost feels hypocritical to try and talk about this when, you know, I have nothing to really show for it, but it's also, I'm confident that a lot of that has to do with just my lack of time and time spent on here. I expect to get somewhere with this. I expect to be in a position where I'm happy to put out content in a consistent manner and not feel like I have to go above and beyond every single time to just, you know, make some progress. And unfortunately, people with my type of mentality, from a lot of the experience that I've had in my life, it seems like we can't help it but to try and go above and beyond all the time. But believe me, as much as that sounds like a gift, and I was almost hesitant on even finishing the sentence, sometimes it can be kind of a curse because you put yourself through much more than you need to. You make things way harder than they need to be. When really, like, in a sense, going the easy route is more beneficial because you're able to, I've never seen this kind of desk. And I forgot we had tabletop blanks. It's just more beneficial to, well, not all the time, admittedly, but it can be a great factor to have playing in your life to simplify things to a certain extent, so that you may complete things, so that you can get things out. Because all the time, anytime I make a new video, like for instance, I have at least 200 videos ready on YouTube to upload, and I won't upload a single one because I'm just not really content with the quality of the video, which is fine. And from any advice that I've read so far, that's the way to go. You don't want to make or put out, you don't want to do quality over quantity. It's just, it's a recipe for disaster, especially for a platform like YouTube that's been around for a little while. So to understand a lot of the concepts and how things work and stuff is one thing, but to actually improvise and do it is a completely different. I didn't even try to find the blank on the last floor, did I? I just kind of gave up. Feels bad, man. Or did I find the secret room? I may have. I don't remember. But yeah, anytime if I'm not talking about this on a stream or in like maybe 10 of those videos that are ready to upload, then I'm telling myself, and I hate having to tell myself over and over, but it's it does sound contradictory to be at the position I am and try to convince myself that I understand how things work. In reality, just that understanding right there is enough to feel like I am making some sort of progress. But I have to accept that that is the case. I don't have much to show for it. But that's not gonna fucking stop me. No fucking way. I know that I'm passionate for this because I've been doing it for a little while now, in terms of broadcasting, but I've been gaming for a really long time, and I've been gaming with friends, and I've always tried to be such a big part of a gaming community, and to feel like there's a door open for me is just like such an incredible concept. And I'll use the word again if I have to. I want to take advantage. I want to exploit that opportunity. I'll see the lock on the door and I'll kick that motherfucker down. I don't care, because I know that if I put in enough time to what I'm doing, then I'll come across a point in my life that I can see, like, all the work that I keep forgetting I have table tech blanks. All the work that I'm putting in is paying off. Now, the next question I often try to ask myself is, what does it mean to have your work pay off? This is just the ritual room, right? Oh shit. Like, what is showing you that it's paying off? Or where's your, like, how do you decide, like, okay, it's working, we're doing something right? Well, follows, subscriptions, views, view time. It's all stat. It's all online for me to look at. But what sometimes puts me in like such a weird situation is the idea that it's time consuming. So some people need donations, tips, money, that sort of thing. And I never really wanted to go that route, and I left donations up, but I don't expect anyone to donate. It's kind of like a future, or something I'm planning on doing in the upcoming days when things are more settled with the channel. And it almost doesn't make sense to have it, but if for some reason someone were to donate, then, and I don't know, this isn't like a whole speech to go to donations. I want to make sure that's clear. But if someone were to donate, then they'd be helping me see that this is something that I can invest time into, and expect that I don't have to spend as much time in my everyday life to go do other things, when I could instead be entertaining people that are here for both me, the gameplay, my gameplay maybe in particular, my animosity, my silliness, the people I might have on the channel. I already have someone that I want coming on Thursday to play Deus Ex with me, because I know he was one of the people that almost convinced me to get Deus Ex. What was the first one? Mankind Evolved? Something like that. And that's not the only reason I wanted him on. He's just got such a great character or personality that I usually think about him when I think about having guests on the show. Feels weird to call it a show. I probably won't call it a show, actually. We do have a key, so we're not in too much danger of running into a chest and having it be a wick and not know what the fuck to do. So we're good. But I think we got maybe, wow, like 4 more rooms, and they're gonna be tiny. They have to be, right? I'm making that assumption because we haven't seen the boss room yet. We haven't seen the second chest, and there's no indication on my map that any of those are coming up. Push his ass right off. Keep forgetting we got table tech blanks. Maybe I should just stop buying table tech blanks, because like, something can be the most useful thing in the world, but if you're never going to use it, then don't get it. No, there you go, there's my wick. I think we already found our secret room. I don't have anything to put this out, so we're going to open it. It's really bad. We'll probably end up... Well, there's synergy, I suppose. But then again, there's really not. Alright, so that next room is most likely the boss, if not a room before the boss. Besides the obvious one. Gungeon Pepper isn't all that. Scope is pretty nice, especially with the marine. we could sit far as hell, but we don't really have any weapons that could do that just yet, so we might have to save our money, probably even get a key. I don't know if we really want a blue chest weapon, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that. As far as, I think I'm okay with getting rid of that. That's such a horrible item. It did put us at a large number of casings though, so that's nice. I don't oh, we did find the secret room. Okay. Alright, so let's head towards our boss. We did get that statue earlier, the blood sacrifice that increased our attack damage. So that's a huge plus. Well, we should be able to do a significant amount of damage to the boss here with our primary pistol, with our primary weapon. Now hopefully I don't get too cocky and try to escape like the smallest hole of bullets like I did earlier. When she does that like armpit attack, that's what I'm gonna call it, it's best to dodge the first few that she sends at you as early as possible, so you get a better chance or more time to react to her second set. This is a lot easier than it looks, really. You're just kind of just trying not to get hit. Like, you can stand completely still and manage to not get hit by it much. Not stand completely still. I mean, like, stand in a general area. This attack is like probably the easiest, a lot of people would say, but it was the hardest one for me early on. Because it took me a while to get into this motion, but the further back you are while still being able to hit is your best bet. Also, being on top of her is the worst spot. Being on top of any fucking boss in this game is the worst spot you could possibly put yourself. Now, if I had another gun, like say the heroine, I still wouldn't be using it on her. If any other gun, I would still be using my primary because I'm so comfortable fighting her. Wow, she was sitting on a fucking key. What a kink. A key kink. Any other gun, I promise you, I would have still used my primary pistol, unless it was just a really bad gun that I knew I'd never end up using. And for comedic purposes, I'd probably use it. But I'm just so comfortable fighting her. And I'll sometimes say that, and it throws me off, and I end up getting destroyed by her. I did find another key, but I'm gonna remain. Wow, I used like both guns there that I didn't need to. I'm gonna keep using the guns that I have. I'm not gonna worry about getting another gun just yet. We did find some garbage. You can has that. 3 coins. Dude, that guy used to give me like fucking 50 coins whenever I gave him trash. I was like, wow, this is game breaking. And then they updated it immediately after I said that. It was weird though, because I didn't get the update on PS4 that day, but when I went over to my friends and played, I was like, dude, have you ever gave him the sewer dude fucking trash before? And he's like, no, what happens? I'm like, check this out. I gave it to him as like 3 casings. He's like, well, I guess that put something for it, or that there's a reason for it then. I'm like, well, it's hard to explain. I'm still looking at scope, but I mean, we have aim assist, so I don't know if it's really not necessary. And a lot of our bullets will dissipate before it even reaches an enemy if they're far enough. So I think we can continue here. You know what? We could farm blanks. But no, I'm pretty comfortable with the way we're performing right now. Even on the first boss that we took a hit on, I was almost extremely comfortable that it actually ended up costing me. So we need to remind ourselves to use blanks even when it feels like it's a mediocre situation, unless we know we're comfortable enough and we're willing to take some blanks to the next floor. But we'd have to pick blanks up on the floor for me to feel comfortable enough with that, or we make a shit ton of cash on that floor without needing to buy some keys. And this floor might be it. We might have 100 and... You know what I just realized? Well, a couple things. We never did the mini game on the first floor. The shooting game. Shooting gallery, whatever we're going to call it. But I suppose if we had done it, we wouldn't have table tech blanks. So I seriously need to use table tech blank. But I think I would have rather done that because that was like I said, one of my favorite ones. So why is there a cursed enemy? So oh shit. He's gonna hit me. I'm wasting so much ammo, but I would really like to hit him with one of these. Got him. Wow, that was kind of insane. Can someone explain to me why there was curse? I'll be right back. I gotta run upstairs real quick. Alright. I was thinking about, is there a name for that one fucking, that thing, where you run and you like swing your arms like this? Is there a name for that? Like, did they give that thing a name? 'Cause I was thinking on the way up, I was like, at the next convention, 'cause I saw a video of two guys that were cosplayed, from Full Metal Alchemist, and they just started doing it, and it was more appealing than watching like the normal videos of people doing that. But I mean, there's 100 different ways you can do twists on it, but just being on cosplay for me looked like a really fun and exciting way to do it. But I was thinking to myself, because I do go to conventions where tons of cosplayers go. I was thinking maybe the next time I go to, I just convince like a group of like cosplayers to just allow me to videotape all of us just doing that shit. But I wouldn't know. That's why I'm asking what the name of it might be, because I'm like, I wouldn't be able to explain it like just verbally. I'd have to be like, hey, everyone, y'all want to do this real quick? Like, what the fuck? But you know, those people are generally really fun and really cool whenever I go. So I imagine they'd probably be like 120% down to do it. Ow. I think I literally... Okay. I was trying to hug the wall so I could not get hit. That was totally my bad though. My initial plan here was, alright, left side's completely full of enemies. We don't know what's on the right. Could be some of the most dangerous enemies. They could be fast, they could be cursed, there could be a mage that's powering them up. Could be a bigger guy, could be the fucking Iron Maiden, which, as now that I think about it, never the case. But during times of stress, you often think about that stuff. So my plan was to run away from the obvious enemies and go discover what else exists. And because I chose to do that, I lost track of what danger was in my face. Because I legit forced myself to go through hell. So if I could do that again, I would probably have gone this way where there's cover, but then I would have been trapped by top and bottom. So how would I have handled that? How would you have handled that? You come in the room from here, you see all these enemies. I didn't look at the map, but I guess you should. to like distinguish how big the map is. As soon as you come into a room though that's like that hasn't been fought, the map disappears, so you only get the quick second to look, and it's better to look what's in front of you. And that's why I recommend people get out of that habit of rolling into doors. You'll still see me do it, but it's like I'll tell myself now. But you come in this room, the map disappears, so you miss it. Or you shouldn't look at it anyway. I guess establish if you're in danger or not. Move away from the obvious danger, and then hit this. But that just like blinds you. So what would be the best tactic? You come in. You see these guys, you've done this room before. That's kind of like a shitty way to explain it. But you assume, or you should assume, since your camera is not being cut off by a wall, it's still just an empty void up there. And you can kind of like move the camera by doing this. If there's obvious enemies up here, like there were, all of them are up here, and a good number of them, you should consider going this way to discover the rest of the room. But going down the middle was obviously a bad idea. Going here would trap you. So avoid corner. Maybe the middle was a good idea. I just wasn't good enough. So running the furthest away from this side or from these enemies and those enemies resulted in this path. For that one to why was there a streak of poison this way? Oh, he must have came down from that way. And I think he's the one that hit me too. We got hit by him or something. We got hit by one of the jellies. I don't know if it was the one that came up from there. But he left a streak of ooze. And we walked on it. But I was like carefully trying to walk off of it. But I wasn't able to. And I even like hugged the wall a little bit. But these walls are a little, a little misleading. I can't really represent it. But it was also my skill. I'm sure if I legit hugged it or had cut down here, I would have been fine. But that big ass mushroom was here too, if I recollect. Yeah, that's maybe that's part of the strategy. Consider if there's a room you get hit on, even once, you should try to consider how you're going to approach it again, because Gungeon legit admits that it's the same rooms in different spots each time. So you can expect the same room. That's why consistency on Gungeon will get you better. There's no you don't watch some of those speedrunners or people that have like those gigantic streaks like Austin, last gray wolf, last underscore gray underscore wolf. He was getting that like insane number of lich streaks, and because of that, people often go and check that out because obviously he's notorious in the Gungeon scene. So people just assume this is what a good player should be, and then you see him just fucking not getting touched a single time, and you're like, all right, perfect. Candy, holy fuck, magic sweets. I mean, that's an incredible grab right there. I'm extremely satisfied. Damn it, Gungeon. We did get a speed up, and it almost threw me off because I was just, already used to what I was already at. So I almost fell off there. But also keys, when they drop, if you don't know already, don't pick that key up. Do not pick it up. If you have not found the shop on the floor that you are on currently, do not pick that key up, because you increase the chances of the shop, or I shouldn't even say increase. It is a guarantee, because at least 99.9% for me, there's always a shop with a key, so long as you don't pick up a key on the floor. Until, like, when you find that shop, then you can go pick up the key, obviously. And the rat does not take the key, so you're fine. The reason you want to do that is so that you can, reliably have a key in the shop. Now, sometimes, this has happened to me a number of times, where I'd have like 5 or 6 keys, and I'd be coming on the floor, and a key would drop, but I hadn't found the shop. Basically what I just explained. And I'll tell myself, well, I don't really need keys. So what if I pick up this key that will reduce the chance of him having a key in the shop, which increases the chance of him having something else. So every time I do that, though, it seems like there's a fucking missing gap. Not like in the middle. It seems like he only has like 3 when he usually has 4 items. Or it's just like 1,000 hearts, So it's almost like, even if you have 5 keys, I suggest not picking it up, finding the shop, and then doing that. But I guess not. You know what? Never mind. That sounds stupid. Maybe the hearts are a good thing in case you start getting shitted on, because the keys just really won't do it. But always, 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 when it comes to economy, save as much as you can for last minute. If you know the next room's going to be a chest, don't go in the chest room. If you, let me skip to the point of why I'm saying that, is because you'll often you have to go through the entire floor to see what's on the floor. Because a Gungeon is good for having secret special rooms that can change the flow of the run instantaneously. You might come across the key salesman. Like I said, with 5 keys, you're thinking you're sitting steady. Let me go to a more realistic amount. You like 3 keys. You know, that's when people are like, do I not? In case they've already come to that conclusion that picking up the key would help them get some other items in the shop. So say you have 3 keys and you don't pick up the key, and then you come across a key salesman who's like, for 2 keys, I'll give you Mimic Tooth necklace, and for another 2 keys I will give you Ring of Mimic Friendship. So now every chest is a mimic, but no mimics will attack you, so every chest is free. You spend 4 keys for every chest to be free. That's not necessarily worth it in the late game. I would say don't do that on chamber 4 necessarily, but you know, you could still run into other chests. Like with Ballot here, there's still a chance the chest will pop up for me after completing a room. But you know, I'm going into the fucking as deep as you can go for the possibilities. But knowing this stuff and just acting naturally as if that's just the rules and how you control the economy, the flow of the game, will help you just be better overall. And I mean, that's kind of what I'm just doing right now when I'm explaining a lot of this to you, is to let you see that, like, because I'll often be on the Gungeon subreddit and I'll see like people just complaining, not like nagging complaining like it's annoying, shut the fuck up sort of thing. It's almost like I feel bad, but I don't necessarily always have the time to you know, explain in oh shit, I didn't mean to hit that explain in full detail what they could be doing and what they could be doing better. And even if I wanted to, I'd be like the 40th comment down sometimes. I mean, people look like they're getting more and more sick of it, but I'd be like the 40th comment down, and every comment before that would be about like exactly what I would say, but you know, a little more of a harsher tone where like it's basically like get good sort of thing. But I'm not telling you to get good, I'm telling you to like weigh some of the pros and cons. And also, I would very much appreciate, I'd very much recommend accepting the fact that practice makes perfect is probably the most legitimate, incredible, like, it is no way anyone should ever assume that practice makes perfect is a fucking lie. Especially when it comes to Gungeon, because like I said earlier, understanding how the room is, like how to deal with it, is a huge factor when it comes to Gungeon. For instance, this room, I can go on for about hours on how to deal with this room, and even if I made it sound fucking foolproof, I would still end up getting hit. Does that immediately disqualify my my expertise with Gungeon, or this room in particular? Maybe. Go ahead and say that. I mean, if you know how to handle these rooms perfectly, that's fine. But I guarantee you, anyone starting on Gungeon legit will lose like half their fucking life in this room when they first start out. So, and it's kind of hard for people to go on Reddit and be like, this is the room that fucks me up, because, you know, they're already playing Gungeon. They usually have to go through the whole run, so they'll forget by the time they die or by the time they get to Dragon. You know, and it's like these people want some help, and not a lot of people are able to give them exactly what they want. So in a way, I guess I can turn this video into your typical what to do scenario, and maybe it'll just help a lot of those people that need that help. Now, I'll never go as far as to say like maybe you'll just never be able to do it, like the whole Gungeon isn't for everyone concept. Okay, can someone really explain why we ran into a cursed enemy on the first floor? I'm not gonna forget that. That happened. Does anyone, like, do you think Gungeon had an update, or like that is still possible, or has it always been possible, just extremely unlikely because it's such a low percentage? But anyway, we found our shop, so that key is now okay to pick up, and like I said, always a key here. And what I do remember what I was trying to explain earlier as well is when it comes to taking care of the economy as late as you can, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Like, again, I mean, the best example I can use for when you shouldn't have to care too much about the economy is when you have like 5 or 6 keys, right? And with ballot, that is somewhat likely to happen, but not incredibly. But when it comes to chests like this, you know the chest is going to be here. The chest is going to be right here. No matter what, it's going to be there. Sometimes, though, you'll run, like, this room might also be a chest. It's not likely. In fact, I think it's very unlikely. But, you know, the next room, like, not this room either. Could be this room. This room could be a chest sort of thing. And why this one doesn't really show like this one does is because this is accessible from 2 routes. The closed off route, which you obviously exit, so it's not really accessible, I shouldn't say, unless you have that would be a spoiler, which I'll explain some other time. But you essentially you can access it right from there's 2 different points of entry / exit. But anyway, say you went here and this was a chest, which is not going to be because this was a chest, and also we found our secret room. But pretend that doesn't exist, or pretend that does exist because that is the example. But anyway, this, say the chest was here, but it was a dead end. That is when it wouldn't show up as this. So you should feel grateful when you see this because you can assume that or know that the chest is there, so you can take care of your key economy a lot better. But as soon as you find your shop, I recommend grabbing that key immediately. If you're lazy and you're not feeling up to it, then that's fine. I mean, I guess it's not totally necessary, but to have at least, you know, the amount of keys that put the potential for a chest to have a fuse on it, a wick, like a timer for you to open it. If I haven't found any chests on the floor yet, then I would at least want 2 keys in my inventory. Now that I know I found 1, I could have actually been okay with, alright, we don't need to go get that key, we can go. But just don't be a lazy cunt. Take the game in a serious formula, but also have fun with it, sort of thing. Because you want to be able to progress. You want to appreciate the game for its quality. I never really understood what's up with his eye. What is that? What is that? His eye? Whoa! It like changes sides. It's not his eye because it. Well, hold on. That is his eye. Huh. All right. Anyway. But yeah, the idea that some chests will have a wick on it is something you should always weigh. And then it also comes down to preserving the keys. Like if you come into a chest room and it's a green chest and you know that that's like the, you know, it go in ranks, it goes brown, blue, and green. So you're like, all right, well, green is better than blue and brown. And the other chest might be green, the other chest might be blue, the other chest might be brown. And I'll probably find another key, or the shop is selling a key, sort of thing. Whatever it may be. If you accidentally go into a room with 0 keys because you opened a chest earlier, and you go into another chest room on accident because you can't tell, you know, like I said earlier, and it ends up being a chest, and it's a fucking red chest, or I think they're called gold chests actually, or a nightmare chest. Demon chest. I think those are called demon chests. The black or red chest. Then you fucked yourself. And you know, sometimes you just gotta experience that to learn from it. So I don't mean to like give out advice as in like play the game exactly as I'm saying if you want to succeed, because trust me, I'm not incredibly amazing at this game, but I do put enough time in it that I feel comfortable with a lot of the scenarios, and I'm able to deal with it. And I put a lot of thought into managing the economy of Gungeon, so that I was gonna say, let's hit this table after he dies because it usually explodes and the bullets get sent flying. But understanding the economy of Gungeon is super important. I'm glad I threw him in the pit there. That is also something that I seriously recommend people start doing a lot. But again, I mean, that just reminded me of the point I was trying to make a second ago. Is don't. Wow, brown chest. And we already found our secret room. It isn't impossible to find a second secret room on the floor. Shit, maybe even a third, but I'm pretty sure 2 is as much as it will ever go. Don't let me get off track here. So I was talking about second secret room. I'll get back to that. What I was talking about is taking my advice, take it with like a grain of salt, really, because if you see something that is a little off and you'd rather do, then by all means do that. In fact, tell me so that I can learn myself. I'm still trying to be as best as I can with this game. I'm comfortable. I'm not an expert, right? That's how I'd like to classify it. But when it comes to taking my advice, you know, take it with the grain of salt, because you might even have your own sort of play style that helps you as a player in particular than it would other people or me, for instance. So what could that be? Maybe your gun management. Say you're, I don't mean to go like in the negative direction. I'd rather, here, let's not go in the negative direction. Okay, so say you're incredibly good with the primary weapon, right? And a lot of people often run into the issue of running out of ammunition for their guns. And if you're completely capable of using this primary sidearm, is that what it's called? Marine sidearm? Yeah. If you're, you know, capable of using your character of choice's main weapon, their default pistol, default weapon, then by all means, like, is that another cursed? Yeah, it is. Holy shit. Then by all means, use that weapon, because you're only really gonna benefit yourself. I still gotta be careful here. You're only really gonna benefit yourself because you're not gonna be spending a lot of ammo. But, and yes, there's almost always gonna be a but. Man, I think they slowed down the bullet speed of these things. It must have like been super unfair for a lot of people. Here, let me. Oh, we don't need to. So a chest did pop up. Let me get rid of these. We do have 2 keys. We have found both chests, which would give us the incentive of opening this. But what if the key salesman is right here? Do I want to miss out on that? No. And it looks like there is some sort of salesman up there. Could not be a salesman. You can tell by the icon most of the time. If there's a smiley icon, it's either Mapman, aka Link, or Fairy in a Jar, aka Zelda. Well, not Zelda, but Zelda reference. Which is exactly what it sounds like, including the little nod to Zelda when I said Zelda reference, because it heals you completely. So because there's no smiley face, this is going to be either a shop or something else, I'm pretty sure, but it won't be Mapman, it won't be Fairy in a Jar. Should I open it? Yes. I'm going to open it because 2 reasons. We still haven't bought the key in our shop, so if we feel like we do need another key, we will go get it. What could this possibly be? I don't know. It could even be the mini game, the gun game thing. It could be one of many shops. I'm just gonna go in. I'm not gonna try to. I was gonna say could be him, could be the troll, could be the witch, or the vampire, or whatever. Could be any of them. But that's usually the case in what it is. Also, if you haven't found a secret room on a floor, you check the chests area, and you check both chest areas. You beat the boss, went into the elevator area, and you check there, and no secret room. So you go to the shop, you have a blank left, and you blank in there, and there's no secret room, but he's got blanks for sale, whatever. You know what I'm getting at. Or you got one more blank left. Check these rooms. These rooms will almost always be where the secret room is if you haven't found it in any of those in that order. Is there anything worth buying from him? Might be your question here. Mega Dowser is very, 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 very specific to why you'd want it. I can't necessarily think of the synergy that's on the tip of my tongue right now, why you'd want it. I think because it's kind of like a toy gun. There's some other synergy with, I think, another gun that might be a toy, or, you know, something that seems non-lethal. If you have both of them, you get some sort of like crazy synergy. like a powerful synergy, I think, like damage wise. I don't remember. So Mega Doubter is very specific to a run. If you were the robot, I would highly recommend Mega Doubter, and if your PC can handle it, PS4 as well, and or PS4. But yeah, I definitely don't need it. I can think of still a few uses because I can push enemies off, but the MAC-10 or the machine pistol is pretty good about knockback. Anyway, so I'm not gonna try to go over like, well, the Gungeon has this and this has this, but I'll try the quicker version. Gungeon I'm bad with. I don't enjoy it. There you go. Duct tape. I haven't had a single good experience with duct tape, and I've used it at least 10 times. Now that might dissuade you from ever trying it yourself, but what can I say? Also, if you're not aware, each floor will have to have 2 chests. Could have more, but at minimum 2. What you get from one chest will determine what type of item you'll get from the other chest. If this chest gave me a passive or an active, then that would mean that if this chest gave me a passive or an active, then the other chest would have a weapon. Thanks for the follow, Niku. A weapon. So if you're sitting fine with weapons, then you can tell yourself, like, you open this active passive sort of thing, and you're like, well, this is like a blue level gun, and we have good guns, so I'm not too worried. Then don't get it. Like, you're just gonna end up wasting keys, unless again the absurd example of having 6 keys exists. Then that's your choice. We are fortunate enough to have a chest here, so we're probably going to open this chest, and that'll put us back to 0 keys, but also the shop is selling one, and it's always good to at least have 1 key, especially when going to the next floor, so that you can reduce the risk of like accidentally running into a chest with a wick on it. So the obvious answer here, I'm just going to open this. That is incredible. This reduces the prices of all buyable items in the game. Discount, basically. But what I was going to say is, so my scenario right now, like I said, with 0 keys, you don't really want 0 keys on the next floor, but maybe you can also save your money by not buying this key and running the risk of fighting the boss and hoping that he drops a key, he or she. Which would be nice, because then you save some money. And if you've just been having some bad luck with keys and chests and whatnot, then alright. Like again, I said, tailor the game kind of like how you would play, what your playstyle is. If you're heavily reliant on chests and what you need from those chests, like fuck your character's primary weapon, then go ahead and buy the key. Then you can lessen the chance that you'll find 2 chests on the next floor but no fucking keys, that sort of thing. But you'll always get 1 key from a floor unless you have 0 keys and the shop requires a key to get in. But anyway, I'm veering too far. I can tell you now, if the boss dropped like 3 keys, which is very unlikely, I would come back and open this. Believe it or not, because brown chests can actually have really good weapons, just not most of the time. And the fact that Mega Doubter is existent in the Gungeon world that I'm in right now, that reduces the chance that Mega Doubter would be in here. I have heard that's not true. Things can be duplicated, but I'm just gonna pretend that's not true, because that's never happened to me. Anyway, so our plan here is, although it's unlikely that we'll get 3 keys, I'm still gonna leave that possibility open, because what's the rush? Say I do break this right now and it drops a key and I'm like, oh shit, thank God we broke it. What are we going to use the key for, right? So if there was another chest, there was no other keys possible to get, we beat the boss and whatnot, then breaking this would seem like a good idea. But I guess in that situation it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm going to go Marine Sidearm as much as I can, and then switch over to Magic Lamp to do some big titty damage to whatever boss this may be. Also, I might need to use no, I'll use it during the fight. I think I'm comfortable enough. There's this 3rd chamber. It could be Cannon Balrog, could be Wallmonger, and it could be someone really annoying. Treadnought. Is that his name? The tank. If it's Treadnought, I think we're in good standing because we have the candy, so we're fast. If it's Cannon Balrog, it's going to be a tough fight. I think Cannon Balrog is going to give us the worst time. And if it's Wallmonger, I think we'll do alright if I'm just careful enough. With 2 blanks, is he selling blanks? He is. We got enough money to buy a blank, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy a blank. Because 3rd floor, I'll be honest, can sometimes fuck me. And if you know, if there's a boss that you're about to fight, I'm sorry I'm talking so much, but if there's a boss you're about to fight, you know, and you're running the possibilities down, and you're like, if it's 2 of the 3 bosses I'm thinking of, then I'm fucked. Do whatever you can to reduce the chance of that happening. Alright, it is Cannon Balrog. I put myself in a corner very poorly. I used that blank incredibly poorly. What I should have done, I don't want to waste my magic lamp here because he's harder to hit like this. What I should have done there was started already making my escape, and then shit, this is like the worst attack, man. Oh, that was dangerous. I should have already started making my escape, and then using the blank, because that would have given us enough time. But since I used the blank too early, oh, that was dangerous. We ran the risk of him, you know, it's the time period it takes for bullets to start existing again was reduced. So, shit, he's being annoying today. But we're doing damage slowly but surely. It always feels like the second time around when he does this, it's a lot harder. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say they nerfed him because this motherfucker would like appear right on top of you sometimes, and you would have very little time to react. There's so much I want to say here to try to help you guys understand like what's the best way of handling Cannon Balrog. One of them being predicting where he's gonna bounce during that, because I often get hit by him a lot during that attack because he just runs into me, but that hasn't happened in a while, and I can comfortably say that. Wow, that's pretty shitty. We're gonna have to use our blank just to make sure we don't take a hit here, which I'm fine with. I mean, even if we didn't find our secret room yet, I'm much more happier with a flawless than a secret room. Most of the time. I should say most of the time, because sometimes if you have enough health or the blasphemy, then who gives a fuck. Wow, we got the blasphemy. Holy shit. One of the best weapons in the game. We did not pick up a key, and I don't remember what I told myself to do if we didn't pick up a key, besides actually going to buy a key. But hold up, before we buy this key, I want to remind everyone that sometimes going in this room, we'll have another room on the outside here. We did find our secret room though, didn't we? Yeah, it was up here. So always check here before you make your decisions, because like I said, use your economy wisely. Do things economically as last minute as possible, because if, say, I bought a key, went gone open that chest, and then there ended up being a fucking key salesman here, or whatever his name is, then I would have been like, shit, I done goofed. But anyway, since that's not the case, we found our secret room. We don't have enough money to buy duct tape. Oh, we do. Well, we kind of do. What was it, 101? I don't think you can fuse blasphemy with another gun. Also, I'm not going to fucking buy it. If he had Andromeda Strain, I would buy that shit in a heartbeat, but it'd be like 160 at this point. Also, for any like super new players, prices do go up each floor. So if you have the opportunity, buy it early on. This is 3rd floor, we're going to the 4th. Alright, let's decide a little quicker here. I think we're just going to buy this key and go break that chest. Am I incorrect in my thought? No, because we want a key to be able to handle any unpredictable situation that the next floor may give us. And we'll just pick that up in case we do run into the junk salesman or whatever his name is. But I think we can start moving on now. One thing to note with the blasphemy, and this is mostly for myself because I know I'm going to forget, this thing launches you forward every time you slash. so you could accidentally throw yourself in the pit. It would be a spoiler for me to explain how to get the blasphemy, because it is something you have to obtain. But I mean, I guess the game is mostly spoiled already, just like looking at the game from my end. But I'll try to reduce that possibility as much as possible, while still being somewhat reasonable. I have to remember that I do have table tech blanks. We have blasphemy, so we can basically destroy any bullet coming towards us, which also fortifies the reason we should use Marine Sidearm, because it is a way to save the ammo of all the other weapons. If we do lose a piece of heart, though, this weapon loses its ability to send out a projectile, which sucks. But we'll try our best not to let that happen. Besides that, I think we're all set. Alright, I can go on about this next tip for hours, but make sure you understand the fundamentals of comboing. And by that, I'm talking about... oh shit. Man, there's so much I want to talk about, but let me finish on that one. No, because comboing takes too long. What I was going to say just now was time your slashes. Don't just like spam to spam. If bullets are coming at you, worry more about defending yourself. Even if you're missing, like, time it. You got to stand still for a second, time it. If there's faster bullets coming down, like that guy that shot those arrows, this guy right here, and then there's slow bullets coming from this guy, and the slow bullets are in front of you but the fast ones are coming, don't get rid of the slow bullets, because then you're susceptible to the fast ones, right? And that can often be the case, which could be reduced with positioning throughout the map, but I'm definitely not going to get into that right now. But yeah, so wait till they like come together, force yourself to go up against them, and then take them out in a evenly timed manner. Hopefully I can show that off a little bit here. I pray that there's no cursed versions of these guys. Like I said, I haven't really picked up any curse, so there shouldn't be a reason, but we've already ran into 2 cursed enemies. I could be wrong. I could have picked up some curse, I suppose, but I really don't remember. Also, if there's ever 2 possibilities in direction, check both doors for a lamp that might be green or purple. The sooner you hit those, the better your run's going to be, trust me. Alright, there's another curse right there, on an extremely dangerous room, mind you. I mean, we can just waste all these tables here, but chances are there's going to be another wave. Okay. I'm glad I predicted that. Did not handle that last part very well. And we'll just do that for safekeeping. You should never use blanks normally, right? Like, oh my goodness. You should never just use blanks when trying to clear rooms. You should try to save those blanks for bosses to help with the flawless. And now that might be like obvious information, especially to a lot of you, but you know, well, first off, I'm only trying to help. But on the real note, there are some exceptions that I can totally vouch for that would condone the use of a blank. And sometimes not, even though it might seem like it. Like, for example, Polaris. If you get hit, you lose the stacks of Polaris that you've been working your ass off to get. Holy crap. We have a cursed room here. So if that were to happen, then I'd be like, alright, that's fine. Like, blank so that you can maintain it. But if it's like at the start of the floor, and you're at full stacks of Polaris, and you're about to get hit, just get hit, man, because then you got a whole opportunity to do it. But if you're like 3 rooms away from the boss and you know it, or you know, whatever, then I would seriously recommend using that blank. Also, like I said, man, there's cursed enemies, so we obviously have curse. Oh, I'm so stupid. It was the statue from the first or second floor. Probably second, probably first, it doesn't matter. The blood sacrifice. We got cursed for doing that. Anyway, what this is a demon head. This is accessible only if you have 100 or more money, casings, shells, whatever you want to call that, credits, coins, or at least one level of curse. This room is essentially a fucking game changer, man. Like, everything's super cheap. Elder Blanks, I think this would normally be about 60 something, but we have our discount from this item right here, and I think it's called Disarming Personality, and just this room in general makes things cheaper. So you can imagine for it to be 41, that's, and Chaos Amulet being 57, is these are very good items, but that's not always the case, so be careful. Blood Brooch with Blasphemy is a very good idea, but we will get a level of curse for getting this, as well as Wax Wings, but I'm seriously considering Wax Wings. I think no question about it, you get Wax Wings. This is the key salesman, by the way. He's selling the bracket key, which is incredible. He's selling the skeleton key, which makes every chest basically free. We have a minimum of 4 more chests to come across, and that's a minimum. So 3 keys is kind of just pointless. Like, if we had to get desperate and buy keys and waste our money on the shop to get this, it would be pointless. Brick of Cash could possibly be worth it, maybe, but we'll have to see. Andromeda Strain, that is like 100% buy, but we should be careful here, because the idea is that we can get Wax Wings and go do this mini game right here, which I think is only like 15 that he's gonna charge for it. 19, okay. I suppose that depends on what chamber you're on at the current moment. I want to see. This might be easy, so we probably don't need Wax Wings to do it. But Wax Wings is good just to have in general, so I think I'm gonna go get it. 100% that thing real quick. We will take another level of curse. Like, this is a guaranteed what is it? Gold or demon chest. Oh, you can even stop this thing. I feel like I'm gonna miss if I do it, but let me double check. Oh, you can't even shoot. There you go. And there's other things you can get. Does this one hurt you? None of them hurt you, huh? That's funny. We did get a demon chest. Always double check if it's a mimic. Wow. This gun would be incredible if we were allowed to take damage. But that's such a weird concept for Gungeon, because you never want to take damage. 61. I think I want Gungeon Strain more than any of these. Especially Elder Blank we don't need since we have Table Tech Blank. But because we have Table Tech Blank, Chaos Amulet is like a genius buy. As well as Frost Amulet. But Chaos is a lot more valuable in my opinion. 61. And this was like 57. This is cheaper, so maybe if we get, what was it, 61, 41? So if we get 102 gold or money, then we'd be able to buy both, but that also doesn't seem likely. If there was an item in here for sale that allowed you to steal things, I'd probably do that too. So we're going to have to decide whether or not we want Andromeda or Chaos Amulet, and I'll tell you right now, Andromeda is probably the better choice, because there's never really tables against bosses, so you have a better fight against bosses. But I don't know. Is it room? I guess again it depends on your run and your preference. If you're having trouble clearing rooms but you're fine with bosses, like you're getting every flawless or whatever, then go for the table tech synergy. Right? No rush though. Let's see if we can accumulate like an unfair amount of money. Take care of these guys before we get flanked by them. There is a shit ton of enemies right now. And one that takes a little extra ammo to get rid of. This guy's gonna suck a little bit. Not really though. I think he's not even gonna get a shot. Okay. I was like, he's too pinned up against the wall. The game's not gonna register it. Alright, that was an easy room right there. We still want to keep in mind that blasphemy exists. Not to say, like, use blasphemy this whole game, but you totally could. But, things like blasphemy and anything that feels like I'm getting a major advantage will sometimes throw me off because I become very reliant on it. And it's sometimes the opposite for items that can give you a super huge advantage. For example, well, no, that would be a bad example. For example, let me repeat what I just said. Things that are, oh, okay, so the too good to use syndrome, I guess we'll call it, where you get an item or an active or a gun that's just so good, and it's got like 400 ammo in it or something, but you're like, I want to save this for this boss, or an active that you like, definitely active. I think actives are the best example, that you're like, I'll use this active when it feels necessary, and then you end up going through the entire fucking floor not using that active. So it's like, you could have, you know, made the floor a lot easier for yourself. But hey, who knows, like, you probably never got hit, you probably didn't need it, and that's why you never did use it. But careful, man, because habits form incredibly easy in this game, for me especially. Ammo and a key. So we have not found our shop yet. This could put us potentially at 3 keys, which will allow us to open 1 chest and buy brick of cash if we so desire, or maybe even run into another key. This is going to lead us to this chest, which I can tell you right now is not where I want to go. So that gives us the opportunity to pick other directions in the meantime, since we kind of know where this might go. But this might also lead to the chest, so you never know. But this is safe to go into, so I'm going to go into it anyway, just to kind of, oh my god, so much for safe. Anyway, I'm just not going to do this yet. Oh shit, he took the ammo. Ah, I forgot. He'll definitely take the ammo. What could we have used that on? Magic lamp, probably. Yep. That was my mistake. And I only made that mistake because I was scared of trying to pick up the ammo and accidentally walking into the key. But I suppose if I had registered that he was going to take it, I would have put in a little more work to save it. I knew I was going to lose track of a lot of things I said, but the advice exists, and it's like prominent shit. Like, it's not me thinking of something on the spot and pouring it out of my ass. I will end up going back to a lot of things I say if I stay in the mentality that I'm trying to give as much advice and strategy as possible. But why I'm bringing this up is because I do remember talking about comboing weapons, and like for the blasphemy, we know we have an incredible defense, incredible attack, an even more incredible deadly close-up attack, which I'm telling you does a shit ton of damage, and that's about it, right? And it's got an insane range. It does piercing, like it's just so good, and it's got a okay. So and then after you evaluate how good it is, you should also, which is more important, evaluate what it can't do. So this has a very low rate of fire. What does that mean? If you say have a ton of enemies, I hate using this example, but I guess it's one of them that you should address first, because it's common knowledge. If you have a ton of enemies that are with low health, weak, then go for a gun that you can quickly switch to that would take care of them, such as the machine pistol, right? But that's not always the case, at least on other floors besides this one. But fast rate of fire is also should be noted as DPS, damage per second. If you have a weapon that does a ton of damage in a quick amount of time, then you might want to consider having that as your secondary favorite, because sometimes there's an enemy right in your fucking face, and you know this just isn't cutting it, no pun intended. You want to, like, you know, switch to Gilded Hydra on command, like, oh shit, and then switch to this and hit him hard as fuck in the face. But if you're comfortable, which I'll always revert to as the solution to a lot of issues, then I would recommend, you know, saving that ammo. Too good didn't use syndrome isn't horrible, but in the sense, like, using it in that context is what makes it bad. That, you know, you could be using it, but you're just not. That's not the case I'm trying to run here. The idea is, or you know what? I was like, let's just take care of these guys in case I reload and there's like 10 of them on me. I want to be able to handle it, but it's 2 shots to kill, and if I had to, I'd switch to blast move, so no big deal. But yeah, there are some situations that you would want. That was me trying to time it out, by the way, like both enemies' shots coming in. You do still want to be fairly preservative when it comes to managing things that are too good and you shouldn't use. Like the Gilded Hydra example I just gave. I think we do Magic Lamp second because we do have a boss killer and this would help with rooms. But for now we're good with this. The fact that we're steadily going through the 4th chamber with our primary pistol still as like one of the things we're relying on feels really good. Obviously it's because we have blasphemy, but less obviously it's because I feel fairly comfortable here with it. Let's get rid of this guy real quick. Alright, make sure it's not a mimic. It is not. Do not make sure it's not a mimic with the up close hit, because that almost always gets the chest just near destruction, and not destroying it is okay, you know, so don't worry too much if you do end up doing it, but you might accidentally hit it somehow, maybe looking for a secret room and a bullet ricochets. What are we gonna do? Okay, so green chest, I guess we just keep that in mind, that it exists and that it is something we will have to weigh when it comes to the key economy here. Now again, we have 1 key on the floor, we have 1 key in our inventory, and 1 key in the shop. So that potential of 3 keys still exists. With Ballot, we still run the possibility of... Wow, I think... Okay, I'll address that in a second. We still run the possibility of running into a key just based off of Ballot. If you don't know what Ballot is, it is basically... I'll try to explain it as basically as possible. It raises your coolness stat, which is a stat that allows your cooldown to be reduced, which affects active items and things like that. But also it increases the chance for items to drop after completing rooms. And it seems to pop off like as it builds up. You know, say you have like 10 coolness and each room you complete, it goes up by like 2% or something. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but what I do know is once coolness pops off, like you get a key from after completing a room, you can expect your coolness stat went back down to an original percentage. So that's why I'm making the educated guess that it does increase over time as well, since it can reduce and then it goes back up sort of thing. But I don't know if that means you need something that has a coolness functionality, such as Ballot. I wonder if candy gives you coolness as well. Probably not. I mean, I think it's called all, or it just finds itself at all stats up, right? Oh no, it tells you exactly. Health, movement, speed, and damage. Alrighty. This treat was originally created as a reward for Winchester's game of skill. Cool. Winchester's that that carnival game thing we did, right? The gun game. This guy right here. He's Winchester. He has to be. Alright, so we still got a few more rooms to explore. It looks like maybe a couple more to reach this chest here. We can go get that key. We're making a decent amount of money. I'll go ahead and say not a lot. Definitely not what I was hoping we would make, clearly. But we did buy something, so maybe I'm creating an illusion. Now I know I can just breeze through this, but if there's anything I could seriously advise, is taking your time on those. It's very difficult to do so when you're as impatient as I, but I seriously recommend it. Considering like renaming this freaking stream, man, because this has been mostly just about advice, and I'm very happy to give advice on improving your game. Alright, so 71 credits. That'll be almost all the money we can possibly make on this floor. We should also consider that the boss sometimes drops cash as well, but that could be dangerous for us to decide. If this has a wick on it, I'm just gonna risk it. Alright, so maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should have thought about it. It has a wick on it. Shit, it has a wick on it. What do we do if it has a wick on it? The other chest was green. We don't know what that other chest contains. So if this is a blue level gun, I'd be extremely disappointed. So that already reduces the. I can probably just pause. I suppose this is kind of cheating, isn't it? I'll just do a quick thought. So originally, what I would have done before I came in here, I definitely would have thought about it, like not like an idiot and just walk in like I just did. And I would have decided what would condone the you know, what would convince me to open this. Now we're gonna think back to what the key salesman guy has back at his palace, and we told ourselves we don't want skeleton key. I guess we don't want skeleton key because well, that would just leave us 3 chests left. Shit, there's a lot to think about here. Break of cash was only 2. We can buy a key from the shop, open up the green chest with a total of 3 keys, and this floor would be complete. But we still have the next floor to go to, and there's no guarantee that we'd find a key on that floor because the 5th chamber is different than all the other chambers. There is no promise of a key. She is random. She does not, even if you don't pick up a key, she's not likely to have a key. It's just totally up to RNG for that. Key up to RNG. I don't know. Opening this could be a huge mistake. I don't think we open it, but we should destroy it so we can at least possibly get something from it, such as that. I also recommend if you ever come across a situation like this and with no keys, like a wick or whatever, you don't have anything that you can put it out, like a mega douse or whatnot, but you do have a weapon that can find secret rooms, try looking for a secret room. Oh, go. Like, crack it. Do as quickly as possible, and determine if that secret room has a key in it or not. And if it has like a brown chest in there, that could also be a key, so run over there and open that really quick and then come back. But the sooner you do it, the better, because you get better at it. Let's open this real quick. I get a feeling I might end up regretting not doing that later. Okay, that wasn't the case. Now, he is available at the other shop, but he's not selling these weapons. It's very unlikely we could really have any of it. This sucks, and this is pointless since we have wings. That's a really good weapon, but it can cause super armor for a lot of bosses because it does a lot of damage, but not all the time. And also it costs a shit ton, which we probably would never even accumulate. So we still have 1 chest left. We have 2 keys in our possession. 3 once we... Ooh, buying a key would also like cost us money, and I think I already evaluated that as an issue. But Chondromeda strain. Since we are going to bullet hell, that's what we need to consider, is what could help us in bullet hell. Brick of cash is pointless in bullet hell, so you know what, we're not going to even consider that. Bracket key is incredible in bullet hell. Incredible. But it does give us curse. It takes a while for it to cool down, and we only have a little bit of coolness stat. And it costs 3 keys. So Did we find our secret room yet? We have not. Seems like it's likely to be in here, or at least in here, but anyway, these are what I'm like seriously eyeballing right now. Even Frost Amulet would be, you know, okay for me, but 41, that would leave us with 20 credits, and then killing the boss could put us at a little more. So should I go fight the boss and then decide on some of this? Or do we just, you know what, let's just get Andromeda Strain. I guess this room is the cursed room because it's like both a blessing and a curse. But mostly a curse because it makes you like fucking think. And I'm not totally opposed about getting Elder Blank either. You know, it could come in handy for bosses more so than clearing rooms. But also rooms, you know. It's pretty versatile, to be honest. Very versatile. Damn, man, I don't know. See, like I said, I'm not at the level in which I understand every concept and know how to handle it. But we can make this easier on ourselves. So what is it we need? Do we have great guns? We have blasphemy, that's incredible. We have 2 boss killers, and we have 1 decent, well, I guess 1 decent and 1 mediocre room clearer. So it sounds like we're a little weak in the room clearing department, but not a lot. We have a chance for things to pop up with Ballot. We have protection with Elder or Table Tech Blanks, but not every room. We've increased all stats basically, and we don't have to worry about traps. So we're pretty protected. We're incredibly protected. So we don't need anything that really helps protection even more, which is Table or Elder Blank. So we can rule that out. We can even rule out Blood Brooch. We have a good setup. So I guess I'm not entirely invested in trying to get the key, especially on late chambers. Alright, so maybe this is the tactic. Rule out things. The reason I'm like invested in these is because I know with Table Tech Blank, these are going to pop off a lot more. The only reason I'd want Frost is to, you know, for protection, because it gives us more time to handle things. But like I said, we don't really need protection, so we can rule that out. This will be damage and more damage. I think it's some protection, but it's mostly damage, and we can seriously like go full throttle on that thing, but only in some rooms, right? This is all rooms, so that answers my question. Once we buy this, though, we run the risk of not being able to get 3 keys. Is there anything? No, we already established that we can't get anything here that could help us steal. We run the risk of not being able to get 3 keys. Almost guaranteed we won't get 3 keys. Unless the boss drops one. And if that is the case, we will get bracket key. But if not, we might just save the keys for the next floor. That sounds good to me. Sounds good to you? Alright, cool. Or, I mean, open that chest, right? And then take 1 key to the next floor. But, yeah, that decides that. It is time for our boss here. We're going to stick with Blasphemy just for the protection and the moderate amount of damage. One thing I was going to mention earlier that I just remembered is this attack, the beam version of it, I think didn't do a lot of damage. Or, I mean, it did. No, it didn't do a lot of damage, sure. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. So if you did like a blood sacrifice for damage up, I always noticed that it remained, as far as I could tell, it remained the same amount of damage it was doing without the blood sacrifice, the damage up. Anything that gives you like a damage up, like candy and things like that, I felt like it wasn't really affecting it, but what it was affecting was your slash, and that seems to be what this weapon, its attack actually is, because when you run out of health, it is its attack. Also, always consider, you know, what you're going to use on the boss. Obviously, I'm sure everyone does that anyway, but think 3 steps ahead, which is very, very hard to do in terms of implementing, because you are thinking about so many things you end up fucking up. So I suggest trying to get used to this quickly and try to master it as fast as possible. But what I'm talking about is you decide on what you're going to use on the boss, but that's subject to change because of what you're going to think of next, and then what you're going to think of after that. For example, these two, well, no, probably these two. These two sound like a really good idea to use, right? What happens if I take 2 damage? We lose the effect of Blasphemy, but it's still good for defense. So keeping it on a favorite is still a good idea to prevent more damage, but we're not worried about the flawless so much, and killing the boss quicker could prevent that, all that damage. So if it's a shitty move and we can see it coming, then feel free to switch back to Blasphemy. But in the scenario that we do get hit enough that we lose a piece of heart, we'll stick to Magic Lamp, obviously, but we'll switch to Gilded Hydra. And now say we run out of Magic Lamp, either before getting hit or after we switch to Gilded Hydra, then we would need to use Gilded Hydra and probably just use Blasphemy to keep us protected, and just have to deal with the fight like that. So now let's go back to the original concept and just try to remember that's what we're going to do. I suggest always starting out the fight with like a powerful hit, because you get a free hit basically, but get ready to defend as soon as the fight actually starts. Should I just open this chest now that if we've decided that we weren't gonna get that? I think we do, because what are we gonna? We don't want Brick of Cash. We don't want any of that stuff. It's pretty much useless. You're not a mimic, right? Oh my god, I almost broke it from earlier. I think we already checked here. I think we already found the secret room too. But anyway, open that. Some extra armor, so that seriously helps a great deal. We'll be able to take that to the next floor as well as 1 armor essentially, and that just helps increase the effectiveness of Blasphemy overall, really. But let's not be afraid to use blanks if we have to. I had a feeling it might be him. That's kind of why I didn't want to start thinking like what boss we're gonna fight, because it's sometimes like random as fuck. But I guess we could have still assumed it could be him. Maybe they increased the chance of him like appearing as a regular boss. Oh, we don't have to worry about. Man, those shots are really confusing. Oh, I slashed, dude. I swear I slashed. It didn't register for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know if that might have been part of an update, but I loved having the reassurance that we can switch to our secondary favorite and reliably slash to get ourselves out of danger. So the idea was to be like, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, but like shoot, 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 and then, well, it worked there perfectly. But anyway, shoot, 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 and when an attack's coming, you're able to slash. For some reason, I shot and switched, but he like wasn't slashing, and I don't know if you could hear it off my mic if you play it back, but there's definitely like me smacking the button, quite a few times actually. All right, charge shot is nice. I will appreciate that. Taking the damage, losing the flawless there was a little heartbreaking. We have not found our secret room, have we? Where, oh where may the secret room be? Where, oh where indeed? I guess I don't really know how that song goes. Mainly because I just made it up. Anyway, we could always check in here. Wait, I had 3 blanks and didn't use a single one. Wasn't I just like talking about how essential that is to enforce? Anyway, I mean, we could take the blank to the dragon, which would help a lot, but we already spent it. Anyway, 17 credits means we can't really buy anything. Means all this is basically pointless. Blanks are too expensive. So I think we're ready to go. Let me check something real quick though. Can 17 coins buy us something? Sometimes this guy is selling a blank, like just a plain old blank, and it's super cheap. This gun is like super weak. Wow, I almost called that, but I do not want the extra curse right now. I'm straight. Alright, let's just get going here. Shit, I was supposed to go through the teleporter. That was the point of going back and forth like that. That's not the way. Looks like we're losing a little bit of focus, but we just gotta get ourselves back up. Almost screwed up here as well. We're still looking for a secret room. Which I'm pretty damn sure is always existent. Someone told me that that's not the case. That's not true. Secret rooms don't have to exist on a room, but I refuse to believe that. Except now, because I'm fully convinced. Just kidding. Alright, this time we'll go right instead of straight up. And then this will be the 5th chamber. We've got essentially 4 armor. I think maybe 5 if they've changed how the Marine works. I'm pretty sure they haven't though. And why I say 5 is because the Marine has his helmet and that counts as 1 armor, but I don't think it gets renewed or anything on the next floor. It's like if you have 1 armor total and you go to the next floor, you're still gonna have 1 armor sort of thing. But if you have no armor, the next floor you'll have 1 armor. He just gets his helmet back basically. Wait, 4 armor. We had 3 before we came here, right? If we had 3 before we came here and we have 4 now, it's because of this. It says right there, armor every floor, we get 1 armor. That would make sense, but I thought we had 4. I know that just happened, but I'm being completely honest. I think I'm okay with continuing to use Marine sidearm. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we can preserve the ammo of everything else, really. And we can use the Uzi or the machine pistol a little more. But we have damage up basically times 3, because we have Blood Sacrifice, the sweets, or candy, whatever, the sweet, and Gungeon strain. So this is totally okay. Don't forget we have Table Tech Blank. That cultist looks a little different than I remember. Get these guys off us. Another thing that I remember was those cube guys that shoot like a sideways cube, like a triangle, a diamond I mean, or like a spade, the top, no, whatever, like a diamond. I'm sure we'll run into them, but those guys, when they're cursed, you will not, as far as I can tell, or they might have changed it a little bit, or maybe it's just me, perhaps I could just keep going on with the explanation, but if they're cursed, don't take the chance and assume which one they are, if they're the red one or the blue one, because the red one or the blue one exists because of the red one. Because, like, I think the game, or Dodge Roll is smart enough to have given us those enemies early on, and we have to deal with them basically every floor. They're like little slimes. And we get used to how to, like, fight them. So when you give us... Oh, I saw that coming in. Fuck, dude. He should die with this hit, though. That's what I was trying to do, was, like, kill him quickly. But I should have been... smarter and protected ourselves. Alright, so 3 rooms here, or 3 paths. Always check for the special one. There you go. So there's none. It doesn't matter. That was dangerous. But yeah, so the cube guys, the blue ones were like, I'm fairly certain that it was genius designing. I don't even know how to pronounce the way you spelled it, but just the E throws me off for some reason. But anyway, welcome to the chat, by the way. Yeah, the blue slimes, they're super dangerous because they throw you off, man. I guarantee you they were designed to be what you'd expect the red one to do, and then just kind of take a hot, steamy shit on your day. But and if you're not familiar with what those slimes do, we'll run into them soon and I'll explain. But because when they're cursed, you can't really tell what color they are, so you have to deal with the whole. I disarmed that guy. Haha, get it? You have to deal with the whole. How do I survive this attack? Like, how do I prevent this damage? If he was red, you would roll into him. If he was blue, you would roll away from him. Not. Do you not know how to spell my name? Why are you trolling? Yeah, like you. Oh God. Oh, you know what? I think. Oh my goodness. We actually want that guy to survive. Okay, so I'm trying to complete challenges, and I believe the challenge I'm on currently is trying to defeat the skeletons, whatever. To like farm them, sort of, is to keep the guy that can summon him alive so that he can continue to summon him. But you also need one extra enemy on the map, so that the summoner doesn't like turn crazed and run at you. Right here we're going to decide on which enemy we want to protect or keep alive, and essentially that's the least dangerous. It looks like we don't have a choice though. It's going to have to be this guy. We'll just have to be careful, really. Let's make sure we don't take any unnecessary damage here. Oh crap. Okay. Okay, so now, I just killed one of the easiest enemies, so I guess that's out of the question already. Okay, so we have one enemy left, again. Gotta be careful. That enemy is actually a lot scarier than the other one. Alright, so there's 2 kills there. Let them summon again. I think the max you can let them summon is 3. But let's be absolutely sure. He summoned a cursed one. Oh my god, he's chasing me. He's like, what have I created? Cursed one is kind of terrifying. Oh god, I don't. How did you get the flying? We picked up the wax wings from one of the curse shops. And to get in the curse shop, oh my god, I almost got hit there. This is what I'm talking about. This sword has like a delay that could seriously cost you. But we took a level of curse to get these wings, in hopes that it would be worth it, basically. And I can tell you firsthand, so far it seems like it is, but any more curse and we will seriously cost ourselves the run. Not because we're going to end up summoning the freaking worst thing in the entire game, but because the game actually just gets tougher. The cursed enemies are nothing to mess with, man. Alright, no special rooms that I can tell. 2 directions that could potentially lead up here. I'm going to assume this one would lead up to that chest, so we're not in a rush to get that, necessarily. So, I suppose we can go left. Hopefully we don't destroy the frame rate. Okay. Now that I think about it, when we're at full health, having the marine sidearm as our secondary, it almost makes no sense. Like, yeah, we don't want to waste ammo of the better guns, but we don't need those guns right now, right? But what if we run into a situation where we do need it on the spot? We need to protect ourselves. In that case, you would want something reliable and useful, and that'll be this. Am I going to use it like often? Definitely not. In fact, I'm not going to use it much at all. But that is a good tactic to keep in mind. Dude, okay, there's a lot of cursed enemies. I know I don't have to tell you that, but like I'm having kind of an oh my god, existential crisis right now. These are the guys I was talking about, by the way. So if you notice, the red slimes, when they do that attack, the bullets continue to go to the ends of the screen. They do have a certain amount of range that they can go to before they dissipate, but these guys, like I was saying, here I'll show you. I'll risk my health for you guys. So when they shoot, you're like, oh crap, gotta do this, and then you run the risk of like being in there. But that wasn't even the best example. The best example is when you you're just outside the line like that. That is terrifying. I don't know, I don't care who you are. That is like the worst position you could possibly be in. I guarantee it. Alright, this room's alright. I mean, this is probably the one reason you would want the Marine sidearm, is because you want to get the right amount of damage out at a range. Like I was trying to explain with the blasphemy earlier, what it can't do, and that's deliver a fast amount of damage, which essentially turns into DPS, damage per second, and you could run the risk of seriously hurting yourself because you just can't come up with the amount of damage you need in that short amount of time. If I were to use Gilded Hydra during that, I would have been so ashamed of myself. I would actually have told you guys to not listen to anything I've said this entire time. But I'm sticking to it because I think that was definitely the right way to handle it. Because obviously those grenades weren't taking a lot of damage. Are there any BFGs, like one-shot guns that you can use? I think they have a gun in this game legit called BFG, or something similar to it, where you charge it up kind of like the charge shot, and it takes a lot longer to charge up, trust me, but it's worth it. And essentially, like, the best way to use it is before you go into a room, like this next room, you charge it up, walk in this motherfucker, and just unload, like, let it go off, and in the middle of the map. Is there an enemy above me? No. I would have definitely taken a lot of damage there if there was an enemy above me. But anyway, you let it go off in the middle of the map, and it does damage to the entire, like, map. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the radius exactly, but it almost always clears the room because it does so much damage, hits everything in the room, and any, like, really tough enemies are usually, like, a couple shots away from being killed. That's one example of what you're asking. And also, I said middle of the room, not because of the radius concept, but if the bullet hits a wall, like, you know, here, say I walked in and I just shot it blindly and it hit this wall, it didn't have enough time to activate. It has to kind of float before it explodes. Now, another example of a BFG would be the Heroine, or I guess the Mega Hand, which is essentially Mega Man's hand cannon. You just charge that up and you hit an enemy, and almost 90% of the enemies on your run are going to die in one hit. And the charge up doesn't take too long. I believe the Mega Hand charge is a lot quicker, but it's just a little less damage than the Heroine. The Heroine is a lot longer and a little more damage. I mean, obviously vice versa, but I do prefer the Mega Hand over the Heroine any day. And I guess there's a couple of other examples, but in the general sense of one shot, everything dies, the gun I first explained was that. A great example of what is a gun that a lot of people don't, or what's the word I'm looking for, underestimate, is the Hexagon. That gun is basically insta-kill. Basically insta-kill. It's got so much potential for insta-kill that it's foolish to not consider it insta-kill. But obviously, or not obviously because you're probably not aware of it, but it does not hit all enemies on the screen. In fact, it even gives you a hard time to deal with all enemies on the screen because of the shot speed. It is essentially a sniper rifle that has an incredibly high chance to turn an enemy into a chicken. That's killing them. They turn into a chicken, they're dead. That's all there is to it. I do have a video though of me on one of the hardest stages of this game, just barely making it with like 1 HP left, and I had that gun and I was doing incredible damage and I was turning everyone into chickens. But there are enemies in this game that can be cursed, and I'm sure you've seen a couple already, also known as jammed enemies, that react to the amount of curse you have. But when I turned an enemy into a chicken, I turned him into a cursed chicken, and he actually walked into me. And usually chickens can't hurt you. Like, in fact, if they walk into you, they explode in a flurry of feathers. But he walked into me and did damage and actually killed me, ending my run. It was just as embarrassing as it sounds, like, just to watch, but I had no idea how to react to it. There is one particular room or floor, or yeah, room on this floor that I absolutely despise. And if we run into it, I honestly don't know how I'd handle it. I'm only setting that this it sucks. It was funny. I think I put it in a highlight. It's probably up on YouTube somewhere, but it's pretty funny to watch. Just watching me like lose my shit. What was I gonna say? Where are we at? Oh, there's a room that's like pretty much hell, man. Like, and I'm not entirely sure how I plan to handle it when we run into it. But when we do, I'll just improvise. Also, I don't think we have to deal with it unless it's over here. Did we find the boss yet? We did. I guess we could totally just not go that way. But actually, that's probably where the shopkeep is. So I'm just spitting nonsense. Let's not open this just yet, but let's at least give ourselves a secondary route so we don't have to do that trap room again. And let's go finish exploring the entire floor. Yeah, it sucks a bit. It sucks just a wee bit. Alright, let's prioritize enemies here. Kill the mage who buffs up the enemies. Cursed enemies should be dealt with semi-last, depending on your situation. In that situation, it probably would have been better to keep him last, but I mean, we handle them either way, right? Gun boots is an increase in speed. I believe we already have a speed up from both candy or sweets. I keep forgetting the name of it. Well, I haven't used my active once. Magic Sweet, which is, it's basically, I think, a nod to Pokemon rare candy. But anyway, alright, so we got bouncy bullets, gun boots, a cheap blank, some armor, and a key that we can probably use. But I'll tell you right now if we are gonna use it. So instead of sitting here and trying to evaluate all our options, let's try to eliminate options like we did earlier by deciding what we can and can't do. So I'm gonna check out this chest. Now here's the thought process, and I do like to explain it before I just go in, because I want you guys to be able to implement this as well, so that you don't have such a tough time trying to improvise what you want your build to look like, how you want your character to handle all these situations. But anyway, to skip to the point, it is, as I said earlier, instead of like doing all that evaluating, we can save ourselves time, but also we have to decide what to do depending on what this could be. Brown, who cares, right? Blue, maybe don't care. Green, with a wick, open it. And the only reason that's like the exception, obviously anything higher, open it as well, but is because this is green as well. So anything lower than green we don't want to get, because we only have one key, and we don't have to buy another key. We can use that money for something else. If we do a little bit of math, we can probably even decide this even quicker, but I think going through this approach is a lot more friendly as a user experience. But anyway, to skip to the point, for this chest to have a green, for this chest to be green with a wick and we open it immediately, we will decide whether or not we're going to open the other chest. So it's exactly as I expected. Or not expected, but had assumed. I did not expect it, actually. Also, I know that it's like a sense of urgency to just open this or break it, like the side to side sort of thing. It's kind of why I'm semi-cheating right now to open this. But this is more of a tutorial, I suppose. So excuse me for, you know, trying to be helpful. In this scenario, you also want to make sure that it's not a freaking mimic. And also, if you didn't have any keys, like I explained earlier, and you haven't found a secret room yet, check the walls real quick, and if it's available, go in, and hopefully there's a key. If no key, like guaranteed no key, don't go in. If it's a brown chest, open that. You know, if it's, you know, an unlocked brown chest, open that, because the chances are it's going to drop like maybe a heart or an armor or a key or both or all three. You know, could be. Let me give you an example real quick. So you do this, do that, nothing. So then you're like, all right, nothing I can do. Metronome is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to me ever. Okay. This is going to be a gun. Do we need a gun? Absolutely not. We don't need a gun. I will get the gun if we can spare the money, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So, what do we want? When do we want it? Now. What we want right now is to further increase. So metronome, basically every time you get a kill, a little chime will sound, and the weapon that you're using to get those kills pretty much gets an attack up, a boost in damage. And the more times you do it, the more the chime will get louder and louder, and it'll change colors until it gets, I think, freaking crimson red or whatever, to let you know that it's at its max. And essentially you'll be doing like one hit. This weapon is the one weapon you want for metronome, because this is the most reliable weapon to keep on hand. What would make this terrible, also if you get hit you lose the metronome as well, but that's exactly why you want this weapon, because you can destroy enemy bullets, which makes it an offensive and defensive weapon. It's incredible. But if you lose a single piece of HP, just like in the Zelda series, as Link, when you don't have full health, you can no longer use the projectile version. So you have to keep that in mind. With that in mind, it's almost tempting to buy this armor to further prevent that from being possible. But that's assuming that we're going to get hit. With my confidence, my utmost confidence, I think bouncy bullets makes sense to get, because this weapon does do piercing damage, and if it were to bounce off something and hit another enemy, we can do a ton of damage. Or hitting the same enemy twice because he's close to a wall. Or staying behind a wall to protect ourselves, but I think we're good with protection because we have both table tech blanks and the sword. Yada yada yada. So it's all just talk right now. Gun boots, again, increase in accuracy, or speed, which is super nice. Could help us get out of a lot of situations. Could help us handle a lot of situations better. Gun boots might actually be the choice here. Just barely. We can almost afford the key as well. And that's why we're not just breaking this chest, even though we're assuming that we're not going to open it. Because it's still a possibility. Even taking a key to bullet hell is a good idea, because with ballot there's a chance. Anyway, long story short, this is the only time you really should think so much about how to handle your next move. For me, I enjoy speed. I'm Sonic fast, so I'm gonna get gun boots, and if we beat the dragon and he gives us enough to afford the key, which is very, very likely, we will get the key and open the chest. Worrying about the flawless against the dragon would condone buying this blank, but that is probably not going to be the case. So I think we get gun boots. It's literally just speed up. The real effect of it is just so useless to me. Bouncy bullets is so good though. Oh man, what do we do? So it's these two really that I'm deciding on. The ammo is also an idea, but we have our ammo from the very first, like the start of this whole run, so that's kind of incredible to me, but also poopy because most people get rid of it to get something better, and we just haven't ran into that situation. We could also buy the key now and get the boots after, but then we run the risk of not getting the boots and also decreasing our effectiveness against the dragon in terms of speed. But you don't really need speed against the dragon. You need jukes and skill. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with gun boots because I seriously love. Yeah, that's nice. And as long as I'm like not over exhilarating with the speed, overdoing the amount of speed we have by, juking every possible bullet out instead of rolling, I think we'll do all right. Another reason we probably haven't used the ammo drop is because we've been finding ammo and using the blasphemy, so we just haven't been running that risk. The Gilded Hydra is kind of pointless, I suppose, because we need to take damage in order for it to work, but I really don't want to take damage. And I guess that's not totally true. You can still use it, but it's stronger with damage. Anyway, I think we start the fight with Magic Lamp. Yeah. and then switch to blasphemy during times of crisis. But let's not switch to it last second like we have been. Let's get ourselves a little bit of a preemptive. Alright, so here we go. Dragon. I skipped the intro in case, you know, we seriously do have some newcomers here. Almost got hit there. Need to be super careful. This attack is very easy for me. I don't mind just kind of bobbing and weaving. This attack's a bit annoying. Also extremely dangerous to assume that we can handle it with our blasphemy, because well, for a variety of reasons. Alright, as you can tell, I'm just trying to be safe. But yeah, I shouldn't be afraid to use that last blank if I absolutely have to. What's up, Slothbeard? That is actually the best name, because I immediately imagined what a sloth would look like with a beard, and it made me instantly happy. So thank you. Thank you, sir. We could still get hit here, even with Blasphemy looking incredible. But that would mostly be because of my ignorance. So this is where Gilded Hydra could come in handy. But I honestly think Blasphemy would do more damage. Let's find out. Yeah, I think Blasphemy is probably the better bet here. Maybe. I don't know. I've done more damage than that before. It's fine. We'll stick to Blasphemy. Alright, let's get the early hit here, just to give us an advantage. Some of these bullets just sway too much, so you have to kind of read that before trying this, or you're going to run the risk of getting hit. There was that pause that I was talking about earlier. It was a consistent like slash, 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 but when I did slash, slash, switch to Gilded Hydra, shoot really quick, switch back to the slash, it hesitated. And you might say, well, that's because you were switching guns. No, that's not the case. I guarantee it. I'm even willing to spend a shot of Gilded Hydra if you don't believe me. 1, 2. That was bad. That was the poor example. I didn't do it as quickly as I thought I would. But anyway, in a way, it still kind of showed it, but I didn't do it as quickly as I did earlier. So we buy the key, like I said, right? The blank would be pointless. Wait. Have we found our secret room? If we haven't found our secret room and we have this extra blank left, it would be fairly wise to try to use it, because we might find a secret room and then that gives us the opportunity to buy armor. Let's try our luck here. I'm assuming I already checked. That image does not help. I'm assuming I already checked this chest room for potential secret room, but I'm gonna check again because it seems like one of the more likely ones. Also, this isn't a mimic, correct? Okay. That would have been nice if it was a mimic. If I recall, mimics are a lot more frequent the more curse you have. So it's kind of upsetting that we haven't really ran into many of them. I guess we can check up here. No, it wouldn't be up there. Let's pop it off in the shop. This shop doesn't get mad at you for shooting in it, correct? Yeah, she don't care. So oh, there you go. So I was gonna say we can pretty much just shoot as much as we want, so we don't have to waste the blank. Because if we don't find it, then we try and use the blank on the like just a larger room that could possibly be a secret room. Anyway, so that was kind of stupid, I guess. I mean, it gave us the opportunity for ammo, but do we really need ammo? We still have our ammo drop. Everything's at full. So to answer my own question, no, we do not need ammo. The armor we can afford, the key we can afford. This will be a gun. We don't need a gun. Can I say that out loud? But it'd be cool to have another option, right? Like, I can say that. I mean, a chest is a chest, too. I don't know. The armor is like saying we're gonna get hit, which I don't like admitting to, but trying to be realistic about it. I think we're gonna get the key and just check what gun that is, just for the lulz. I guarantee you it's not gonna be anything good, but like what else really? The armor would have definitely been the better buy, but I'm really not in a situation where the run looks like it's crumbling. Like, we have so much synergy with our, wow, it is actually the worst gun I could have imagined. Unless they did some type of buff to it, or update, I should say. Yeah, they mean the same thing, in a sense. Not really. Anyway, yeah, Science Cannon is trash.com, so we're not going to worry about that. I never noticed, but you can... Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say, like, his nose is kind of like the top of a gun, but he is a gun. The dragon. Like the Science Cannon, you would have to convince me why you enjoy it, because I'm not gonna just like quickly be like, alright, Science Cannon, shit, I'm never gonna use it ever again, that kind of thing. But from all the experience I've had with it, I do not appreciate it at all. Probably the best non-homing beam weapon in my opinion. The fact that it's non-homing, I think, is one of the reasons I don't enjoy it too much. It's got decent knockback. It does a consistent amount of DPS both from the beam and the status effect it puts on an enemy. Fire and poison, yeah. And but it's just, there's only some scenarios where I think it would be handy, and I don't know if, I mean, I could use it. I'll use it now just to kind of see if it's really worth it, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is the right direction. Oh god, I changed my mind. Alright, I'm not gonna fight these guys with anything but the blasphemy, because I'm not good about bullets coming off of walls. Actually, we shouldn't even be trying a combo right now, because we want to get metronome up. Ooh, that was terrifying. Metronome sounds like it's steadily building. Also, I can just sit over here. I am kind of an idiot for forgetting that. But I don't want to run the risk of getting hit by him. I'm gonna hit that table as soon as it goes. Not the best gun for sure, but if I'm going to find a beam weapon, Science Cannon is one of the better ones. I guess, right? Like if you had to have a beam gun to fight with, I would do Science Cannon for room clearing. Demon Head for boss killing, sorta, even though that's definitely, maybe not Demon Head. Yeah, Demon Head. Unicorn, I can't remember who said it was incredible, but I don't like that gun at all. I enjoy the music it plays, admittedly, but it's just a terrible gun. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and it wastes ammo insanely fast. Alright, let's prioritize here. These guys can't hit us from here, so maybe we can just juke them out a couple times. Or just take care of them now. No, we don't want them to explode on top of us. Oh god. Alright, maybe this was a lot more difficult than I assumed. Let's take care of them first. Alright, there you go. Let him shoot off. Sounds like metronome is seriously building up, so as long as we stay consistent with the blasphemy, don't accidentally switch guns, and avoid taking damage, which is essentially like a super incentive to focus more on defense than attack, then we'd be totally set. Let's just agree that hentai tentacles are the best beam. I'm gonna have to second that opinion, definitely. Tentacles for the win. But in all honesty, Abyssal Tentacle is the worst. I don't know. I guess I just don't appreciate beam weapons, like, but, okay. I am willing... No, I'm not. Wait. I'm about to say. I was going to say I'm willing to get rid of the metronome we have right now to put some more ammo into lamp, but I think if we take damage later on and metronome gets reset anyway, I'll just use my active, but I'll remind myself to use it immediately. Anyway, this is the wrong direction. This is the right direction, and I'm making that assumption based off of knowing that these two were the wrong direction. And because this is the wrong direction and it's kind of leading into here, taking this would never have led to this. I don't know if that makes out sense. Tentacles out for Harambe? That is quote of the year. Can I quote that somewhere on the stream? Tentacles out for Harambe. The fact that it turned here though is a little concerning. But I still have faith that this is the correct direction. And if you're wondering what I mean or why I'm taking this so adamantly on the direction we're going, is because the sooner you get out of bullet hell, the better. In some scenarios. Other scenarios, like since we have coolness stat, there's a couple of reasons why you'd want to clear as many rooms as possible. But we don't have a ton of coolness stat, so no reason to go out of our way. That was a waste of a table, but it's alright. There's plenty of them here. Alright, this guy's like the biggest dickhole, so I'm going to activate this as soon as I can and hopefully kill him. Alright, good thing he has like very little HP. Man, did I make the wrong turn? By now I'd be totally convinced this is the wrong area. Oh man, maybe it is. Okay, so one path is supposed to be a dead end, one path is supposed to loop around, and one path is supposed to be the correct way. But what's confusing me is if this was the one that looped around, it should loop back towards this. And I was imagining that that wasn't the case, but it totally is. It's going this way. So I'm going to do myself a favor and stop going in this direction, even though like I was committed and there's probably only one more room to determine it. But I'm fairly certain that's the case. So we're gonna be professional about this. This room is absolutely terrifying because if you don't at least pretend that there's an enemy above you at all times, then you're running an insane risk of taking like multiple forms of damage. Man, I'm so glad I killed like quickly. It's making this way easier. Oh, he's a pain in the ass. And we killed him. And we killed him. Alright, Metronome is popping the hell off right now. And I'm super satisfied. I'm willing to say a blank is kind of worth it. But if we can even keep the blanks till we get to the Lich, we will be in such a good position. Dude, I'm loving Tentacles out for Harambe. I need to post that somewhere, like a banner, please, or a shirt. Can we get a shirt of that? Dude, Alex, you may have just like created my marketing company. Let's start selling shirts for the stream, and it's all just like Tentacles out for Harambe. I would appreciate the extra damage we'd probably be getting with hitting them directly, but obviously the closer you get to an enemy, the higher the risk of we should get out of this corner. The higher the risk of getting damaged. Oh my god, that was exactly what I was referring to earlier. Pay attention to your surroundings. Always pretend that there's an enemy above you, even when you think you're certain. Alright. Breathe for a second. Keep in mind that we do have our 3 blanks. Try not to use them. We have table tech blanks. Abuse the shit out of those. We got our speed up so we can reliably move around. Andromeda kills enemies quicker. Everything's just solid. It's just like a basic momentum of skill. This room is actually terrifying, but the fact that they have tables in here is probably a godsend. So as soon as I kill him, some of the worst enemies are going to pop up from every corner here. The best thing I can do is kill these 2 as quickly as possible and head up towards this table here. Use it so that their bullets are no longer active, and then we can take them out. By the time we reach that, they'll probably be on their 3rd burst of shots. So they'll still get another shot off, but I think it'll still get silenced depending on the amount of time. The best way to prevent that is overthinking and putting ourselves in the middle so everyone takes their shot and then fires. But I think I'm pretty confident with the original plan, so we're going to go with that. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. The idea here is, for the love of God, don't use a blank. Holy crap, did you see that? He like shot it in my face. Alright, we did it. That was seriously the only part I could ever worry about. Everything else is just a cakewalk. And boy, do I love cake. Okay, the path here is not that way. Probably, I think it's the middle one. Let's hope. Oh my god, this room. I'm very nervous. This room is extremely dangerous. Okay. Did he kill himself? No, we got him. Sounds like, oh no, I was gonna say, it sounds like we're at the peak of metronome, but it's still kind of chiming. Just make sure there's no enemies. Got him. Wow, wow, wow. OP damage, exactly. We've got damage for days. This feels a little sketchy that it's going up like that, but I am willing to explore this room and then determine if we should continue going. The fact that there's this giant gap here and no real rooms leading this way, the boss is most likely in this direction. After about 6 more rooms, the room that we want to start looking for, like 5 or 6 more rooms, we want to start looking for rooms that go up. Like the entrance to it is up, because that's the only way you can enter the Gungeon. I'm so sorry. That's the only way you can enter the Lich fight. So we got to keep that in mind. And that also applies that if we're going too high up, we can assume that it's the wrong direction. Going this way would be less likely because this is more likely to go into this area. But if it starts branching off left, then we back up and go here. Got it? Good. This room can be kind of shitty, but the best thing to do is, what's it called? Like, make those guys, I was trying to think of a word for that, but make those guys go where they're easier to fight, which is like in one direction. Not the band. I think metronome is maxed. We are at like red metronome. Okay, so like I said, it's going left. That's probably not the choice. And none of these really suggest that. Since that was the loop, that would be the dead end. This would not suggest that we'd end up just heading back that way. So I'm a lot more confident in going this way than continuing there or even going there. But I'm not saying that one's not the answer. Okay, another quick little breath, some focus, and just remember how to handle each and every room. Oh, it's still going up, but now I think it's completely there. This is absurd. I wish it helped with like accuracy too. That'd be ridiculous. Alright, this is kind of going left, but this is what helps us distinguish that was not the right path, because this is heading towards it, but that is not going towards that. So this will hit a small room right here. Small rooms are terrifying, but it'll start going up, maybe up one more time, right, maybe down, right, up. No, I think around here. This is probably where the Lich is, right here. So again, this is most likely a small room. Hopefully not. Actually, it could be huge. No, it's probably the small room. Okay. It's somewhat small. I did not handle this through priority. Wow, we almost took a hit. That was dangerous. Obviously don't need that. This is heading towards this. I did not hit another loop. Did I? Is that really the right direction? No, that's too far away. Oh man. This is the worst room, and I'm pretty sure we did pick the wrong direction, because in the peripheral of my eye I can see that there's a door leading to the direction we do not want to go. So I have made a fatal error. I still kind of want to go there, but you can tell it's a hallway. So I gotta work on that, I guess. I was doing well the last couple of times, but like consistently, so it's alright. I mean, we haven't made too many errors, really. That one was kind of shitty, but it's alright. And I think the first 3 rooms, like, there's actually a way to know how to go about it. So if you fail it, then you can only really blame yourself. But technically that was the right way, but you had to keep going in that direction. So the idea was to go as far away from the potential wrong ones. Something like that. Something like that. Sounded like I just got a triple or double kill. Alright, ricochet bullets, not my favorite. Those guys shoot very quickly and preemptively. So let's just stay safe, keep getting these ranged shots. We have like unlimited ammo, so we can totally just swing to our heart's content. This is just a breezy ass run. Alright, looks like we got one more room and then the Lich. If I am not mistaken. This room can be tricky as well. But looks like we're not gonna have too much too many problems. Too much issue. Too many issues? There you go. I lied. This is actually going down. Dude, I'll be like so upset if I'm wrong about this one too, but I'm pretty certain this is the right way. What the fuck? That was incredible. Dude, we're like one-shotting right now. He's dead. Alright, so 3 paths. I don't think it's the middle this time. It's up. It's this one. It's gotta be this one. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. Oh my god, that was terrifying. I actually did not know how to handle that. I told myself when he hits the wall, he's gonna emit bullets. So slash at him, but like, I was just in a weird position. This was not enough cover to deal with this dude. That was terrifying. Oh my god, did you see that? Dude, I could totally just walk in this room and get hit. How upsetting would that be? Well, what am I supposed to do? That was not an enemy. That was the automated machine. Dude, fuck this. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, he almost fucking ran into me. I don't think these guys actually do damage when they run into you, though. Come on, hit him. There you go. I think they just light you on fire, but not immediately. Like you're on fire, but you got to put it out. All right, so we made it here. Just making sure those bullets don't like sneak up on me. Could that happen? Probably not. Alright, I think we're ready. Okay. Blasphemy. As much as possible. If we get hit, we lose metronome. Blasphemy isn't as powerful, but it's still very useful. If that's the case, we switch to what's it called? Magic lamp. And we won't be able to use the ammo drop successfully without like really confusing ourselves. So, and by that I mean like activating it during the fight. So I'll probably have to wait until we beat the first phase of the Lich, then do it hopefully quick enough that we don't end up getting teleported to the next stage. For some reason I got this weird unnerving feeling that one of the recent updates might have sped up that transition. Is that a weird thought? That's probably a weird thought. But anyway. Alright, so let's be super safe here. It's okay to use a blank. I would just rather not. I'd rather use it on a different phase here. Taking out the enemies here is very, very crucial. Getting rid of as many bullets as you can is important. Don't focus on hitting him too much. Focus on protecting yourself. We are fast. We're doing so much damage right now. That's it. That was the first phase. If you're telling me... Oh man. What if like someone that played Gungeon for the first time saw that and was like, Lich is easy. We got very, very good drops and things like that, but we also did a lot of management. We also did a lot of economic control. So we can only really... I don't feel like dealing with that right now. I'm comfortable with dealing with that, but In all honesty, I'd much rather not. Remember to defend yourself. That's what's important here. We have one more blank. Gotta stay away from the corners here. Okay. This last blank will probably be super beneficial on the Lich when he decides to do a certain attack that I seriously loathe. But, okay. You know what? This is the second time I've fought him since what I'm pretty sure is a... Oh my god, we got hit. Is a recent update. And, I think he starts off with that attack every time. Because we're still doing a pretty significant amount of damage. I didn't mean to do that. I was gonna... What's it called? Go up close to him and slash away all the bullets that he was emitting. He just sits there like a free fucking like he just lets you do damage to him. Man, I'm getting my ass kicked. I was not imagining. What the fuck? We're getting fucking rocked. But like I was saying earlier, I know we got this in the bag. It's over. And I could have been using magic lamp this whole time. But whatever. What I was gonna say is I've noticed that he starts his the battle with him. He always starts it with his with that like spinning move where he goes up and down vertically and shoots horizontally. Like I think they made it so that he always starts with that move. Because like I don't know, I'm assuming a lot of people complain about the way he usually starts the fight, which is like I always got hit by him every time. I just couldn't remind myself that he does it. But he shoots out. You saw it earlier where he shot out like his tentacles out for Harambe, and he shoots them out like in an X pattern to start the fight. And I always move, like I always start strafing when I start fighting bosses. It is just a strafe fest, and that's how I've been like programmed. So I strafe right into it, and it sucks. All right, so holy crap, that took 2 hours? I guess because of all the explaining. Jesus. What the heck? I don't think I've ever had a run that long. Or have I? Yeah, probably like during Clone when I first started playing. That's crazy, dude. Alright. Still though, that was a pretty fun run.